Well, I thought this was kind of an attractive scene. Just some shapes, interesting shapes and reflection of light. Well, I thought I'd run out of surfaces to paint on, but I still have this one. This is a 6 foot by 6 foot canvas. It's going to be quite a challenge. It's farther away than it looks, that's why it looks so small. Anyway, the reason I showed you the first clip there is that I didn't even get to the art store because there was no way that we could take my wife's car into town. We got another blast of snow, another snowstorm. It had at least twice as much snow as the first one did, what, 2 or 3 days ago? The first one I was whining about. And that has sort of, we have an Arctic outflow from the mountains which brings the cold air. And then we have moist air coming in from the ocean, which of course then brings in the snow. But the outflow has stopped, the temperatures have risen, so that heavy snow that we got has turned into freezing rain. And that's why you see the sort of the glistening shapes over the snow. You can see some footprints and tire tracks of where the vehicles were moved. It's kind of beautiful. It's not a painting, but I like it. But the worst of getting a blast like this is when it turns into freezing rain, because that's when the damage happens. The roads become really slippery. Power lines get coated with ice. You have power outages. Tree branches break and fall in all the wrong places. Anyway, I didn't get to the art store, and tomorrow is Christmas. I doubt that they're even open. It's just a small family-run outfit. So I probably won't get to a larger canvas until after Boxing Day. But hopefully the ice isn't too bad. Hey, if nothing else, it's beautiful. Talk to you very shortly. So I suppose I may as well adopt this little square space. And do something with it over the next few days, because I truly don't have another canvas. It is an 8 by 8 inch. And I thought, well, why not just have some fun? And there's something I haven't done for a while, and I'd like to make a really impressionistic flowers in a vase. Because it's so small, it's not going to be that detailed. So I'm not going to paint flowers and a vase. I'm going to paint the idea of where the general mass of the flowers will be. I'm not going to tell you what kind of flowers. We don't have to know that. Once I have that in place, because the shape of where the flowers are and how the light's going to catch them is the most important thing. After that, we'll put the vase in wherever we want. Not worried about a table. Not worried about shadows. This painting is too small. I'm hoping for a shot of color, and that's about it. So, alright, that sounds pretty vague. But here's my thought. That's kind of my structure, which will end up being the sides of my vase. Don't know. I'm keeping those lines very loose, very not loose, very movable. But that's kind of my anchor for the thing. So I figured, I'd kind of like to have it sort of I would, right to left it'll be downward, but I always like to look at things as going upward. So from down here to up here, it'll be sort of an upward stroke. That could be a leafy branch. suppose I should be making things rounder, seeing as they're flowers. Going off the canvas is a good thing. Maybe a bit of a bud there. Okay. I'm tempted to draw the top of the vase, but I should not do that, I don't think. Maybe there's just a bud of a flower there. I'm sorry, I know that this is not explaining things very well because they're all in my head. And you don't want to be in the head of a schizophrenic anyway, so you'll see it come to life as things come along. This is already okay. Let's think of it as a rose. I know it's almost dead center. It's fine. It'll get pulled one way or the other depending on how I put the light on it. And believe me, I'm fully prepared for this painting to fail. It's just a fun painting for Christmas. Something to do. There's the sort of a collar around the top of the vase. Let's say that there's a stem heading off. You know, there's some dead stuff in it. That's fair enough, right? I'm just drawing shapes. Okay. I'm putting the bottom of the vase in. Doesn't mean it's going to be painted. It just helps me to put everything in perspective. Edge of the table. Again, just putting things in perspective. What if we were to have a petal? A flower petal here. Or two. Or nothing. I don't know. Okay, that's a flower. Let's make this one a flower too, okay? Let's just do that. And there's just a bud behind it. And let's make this one another flower, but just the bottom of one. Oh, I really don't like how much this circle is centered over the edge of the vase. Maybe I'll move it over a little bit. Okay. There. How's that for a wreck? I don't mind it actually. What I'm going to do is take some ultramarine blue. Again, I've got way too much paint on my palette. So I'm going to take some ultramarine blue and a little bit of burnt sienna. And I'm going to put some lines in here. Now, I'm sure I don't have to point out to you that, okay, we're sort of heading in the direction of a rose head, or rose heads. I'm going to exaggerate this idea, but we have several straight lines, right? As you work concentrically into the center of the rose, you end up with lines that sort of oppose the outside edges, right? There's a leaf, or there's a petal, there's a petal. Now we form another petal. Okay? So we're making a square. This was the square, now a square that's tilted at 90 or 45, and then another square, and we just keep moving it around loosely. On the other hand, I may just be blithering. But I don't know, somehow or another, for some reason I pulled this off before, so just bear with me and let's see how it goes. Okay, that's, I'm not thrilled with it, but I'll live with it. Make it simple, we'll do that. Okay, we have a square on edge. Now we have another square. Roughly. Working against the first square. Now we go with another one. Working against the second square. Alright, just throwing in some crazy silly lines here. We'll see. I keep being tempted to put more into it, but it's such a tiny painting. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I do have a fairly new brush, which is much too large for this painting, but I plan on using it for the actual painting. I'm using kind of the worn out. What is this? Number 6 flat. I'm using it for the wash-in, and I'm going to use. That will be a number 8 flat with the painting itself. Okay, so alright. I like that as a stem with a few leaves on it. I'm going to be a little more direct on that. And yeah, you know, I think I actually like the top rim of a vase, whatever you want to call it, right about there. See, I started with ideas that can be changed, and as I'm getting into it now, I'm beginning to think, oh, I like this, I don't like that, etc., etc. Recess the side a little bit. Recess the side a little bit of that side as well. Okay. And the head of this rose, which is going to catch some light as well, is going to be aiming in the other direction. Very clunky looking stuff, eh? There, I'm going to obscure the backside of the pot. And part of that rim. Now, let's say, for example, that with a shot of color there. Let's say that there's a stem going off in that direction. Let's say that I don't know what it is actually. I just know that I want a line there. There's a bit of stem laying to the side right there. And my intensity of color will be here. So I think that what we'll do is put one more head of a rose or whatever it's going to be right there. Okay, and I'm not so sure about that stem now, but we'll do that. right off the painting. Terrible idea. Just a terrible idea. We'll do it anyway. Alright, so light's coming from the left. We know there's shadows on the right hand side now, so we're just going to do that. Gradual. Okay, most of the shadows here, but there's some on the left as well. Because it's going to be pretty unimportant. Now, how about if we take a little bit of, well, I got a bit of ultramarine blue sitting there. It's very gray. That's nice. Gray works good. If we're going to have roses, we're going to have red. So, gray and red, a bluish gray and some red, that works beautifully together. There's no arguing that point. Well, there's arguing it. I don't think you can win the argument, though. We're going to go gray anyway because we're going to keep things dark. Yeah, see, I'm cutting off the bottom of that. I'm making all these descriptions and then I'm just constantly lying to you because I keep changing things as I go. Alright. I'm adding a little yellow ochre to it. To my background color, right? And I think we can just do that. I hope you realize that this painting may end up being a crane elevator. Or a sunset. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have to take responsibility for this painting because I'm just having fun now. And I feel a little bit guilty for not picking up a larger canvas today, but anyway. Okay, let's add a little more white to that. Let's keep it cold though. Try to squeeze in a little more cobalt blue and a little more white to our mixture and a little more terps. Yeah, that's good. I like the canvas washed in with the burnt sienna, but I also like it as it develops and loses a bit of that intense color. Because white, burnt sienna over a gessoed background, well, that's a pretty darn intense color on its own. Okay, I know they still don't look like flowers. I'm good with that. But I'm also going to leave it there for now. So guys, thanks for watching the first stage of what may be an abject failure. But it's going to be holiday fun. Talk to you soon. Okay. Well, that's a little better. But that's it for the night. We'll talk to you soon. Oh, actually, guys, thanks so much. Got a lot of well wishes on my channel from all you guys. Really appreciate that. Hope things are going well for you. And I've stamped a lot of the comments with hearts, but I just haven't had time to get to them to get to each individual ones with comments. So. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon.